everybody, and welcome back to the only live Monday through Friday lacrosse talk show on the planet. You are watching and listening to Daily Dive. It is Wednesday, January the 8th, 2025. I'm your host, Michael Carvelis in Guyton, Georgia. Producer Joe is behind the scenes in back-to-back Bennettland, New York. We're live on 12-Ounce Sports. Whether you're watching on YouTube, X, or Roku, thank you. Subscribe to the 12-Ounce Sports YouTube channel specifically for other great shows and live sports. On today's awesome show, I'll react to the breaking news of Tyson Bell's suspension handed down by the National Lacrosse League. We'll have guest Jake Elliott, voice of the Vancouver Warriors, and host of Lacrosse Classified podcast, among other ventures. And we're going to have my NLL Power Rankings. We want to first let you know that this show is brought to you by tickets.12ouncesports.com. That's tickets.numbers12lettersozsports.com. Get your National Lacrosse League tickets for less by going to that website. And the website includes every sport, and we all love music, all your favorite artist concerts, not to mention Broadway and theater. Tickets.12ouncesports.com. Let's start off this show with a very humbling statement from Commissioner Brett Frew, but with all due respect, we know he signs off on this, but he didn't write this, I'm sure. And because I can't read that myself, I will read it from my phone. My glasses suck. Okay. Official league statement. Update on Tyson Bell discipline. This came down the pipeline about 45 minutes ago, maybe less. After conducting a thorough investigation into the incident involving Halifax Thunderbirds player Tyson Bell in connection with the Halifax to Colorado game on December 21st, the league is assessing him a seven game suspension as a result of his conduct. The events that arose immediately following the game are inexcusable, and the league condemns the physical altercation that occurred. Our players are expected to always demonstrate professionalism and self-discipline, regardless of whether extenuating circumstances exist. The safety and well-being of all those involved in our sport, players, fans, and staff alike, are pillars of the National Lacrosse League. The league will continue to reinforce proper security measures in the interest of protecting all players and fans. As part of this ongoing efforts, we will also be reaffirming our expectation of appropriate conduct from all attendees and participants to ensure a positive, professional, and safe sporting environment at all our arenas. The NLL remains committed to holding our players, teams, and fans accountable to the highest standards as we continue to grow the game responsibly. I want to first give a tiny round of applause for that statement. I do appreciate the words there if the first paragraph did not end with 7 games. And I want to get my take on it, and then I'm going to see what fans were saying first. I feel like that's more fair. So let's do what fans were saying first, and I'll get into what I'm going to say. So, I did a poll. Oh, this came down 2 hours ago. Good Lord, time flies when you're having fun. Anyways, so I said, was the suspension amount too little, just right, or too much? Of 90 voters, 50%, aka half, aka 45 people so far, have said it is too little. 32% say just right. 17% say too much. I think those people are insane. Okay. So there's that part of it. Michael Day said, translation, we had to put this release out. And here I'll get to some other fans. First of all, the joke. This is funny. Someone said, is there any discipline for the fans? Because, there's always those people. And someone said that the fan got punched in the face and whacked with a stick. Love that. All right, now let's get to the serious stuff. Hutton Jackson, friend of this show, had one of the best takes on it I've seen so far, and you'll see where I'm going with this. 7 games is shockingly light, Hutton Jackson says. The events are inexcusable. He's quoting the league when they say the events are inexcusable and the league condemns the physical altercation, does not match up with only suspending him just a little over a third of the season. If this is the punishment for assaulting fans, it sets a terrible precedent. Hutton, you're 1,000% correct. I understand this might be new for the National Lacrosse League. I understand. I have kind of heard what was said and implied by the fans, and maybe that's why the NLL did say in their statement something along the lines of that we know they have certain circumstances might have existed. Sure, I get that, guys. There is video evidence of what happened. There's video evidence of what happened. And the National Lacrosse League is going to actually say that 7 games is enough. I'm not saying it should have been what I thought it would have been. I thought it should have been the rest of the season. And that is fine if I was wrong. But what's not fine is this is the first, I'm not saying make an example out of Tyson Bell, but let's show the league's players and fans this is completely unacceptable. And 7, if you're going to come back in the same season, it doesn't make any sense from an optics standpoint. And again, in the macro, I do not think the league suffers from this, which is actually insane. I don't think there's a scenario where the league is just going to, lose fans. Because, first of all, there's not much to lose. But second of all, it's like, I don't think that's happening. Some fans actually embrace this stuff, which is cool. But it's not a good look. It should have been the rest of the season and then do the math from there. But that's my take on it. I've got to be honest. I love Tyson Bell. I don't like the suspension. I love the league though, and I'll support it because that's how life is right now. I'm not saying the league should change it. I just don't agree with this. So in other news, by the way, before we get going here, Challen Rogers will play this weekend for the Toronto Rock, as they have just posted on their social media moments ago. Mark Matthews is still out, for those wondering. It's not going to be on the news ticker because I didn't have time to write it in there. But that's all the news in the league. When we come back to this awesome show, guess who's here? Jake Elliott, who is really tall. But among other things, we're going to get to that and more next. This is Daily Dive. Don't go anywhere. I know you won't.
Don't go anywhere. Daily Dive will be right back.
Need tickets to that next event? Well, at 12 Ounce Sports, we've got them with soccer anywhere in the world. Tickets to any venue, any sport. Want to go to NCAA or NFL football matches? We've got them.
Yeah.
Baseball at every level. Every Power 5 matchup is available. Don't forget, costumes and paint are optional. What's that? You want to go to Broadway? We have those too. Want to jam out? Every concert, every artist. That's right, at 12 Ounce Sports, we've got the tickets for less. 12ozsports.com/tickets. That's 12ouncesports.com/tickets.
Welcome to MyBookie. You're ready to create an account and start making money. And we're here to help. And remember, you can get a bonus of up to $1,000 on your first deposit. Now you're ready to bet. Just go to mybookie.ag, visit the sportsbook, click on your bet, and input the amount you want to risk or win in the bet slip. Yes, it's that easy. Just remember, at MyBookie, you play, you win, you get paid.
America, get back on track. with Dust Pod's Performance Stabilizer. When applied to roadways, it kills dust and strengthens the integrity of the road. Easily applied by mixing with water, Dust Pods is the future in polymer stabilization. Call 1-833-DUST-PODS or visit dustpods.com today.
Daily Dive is back in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Welcome back to Daily Dive. That's Jake Elliott, and I feel like the graphic doesn't do it justice right now, considering his face is right there, anyways. But how are you doing, Jake?
I'm good, Mike. How are you?
Good. And I'm going to be honest. After tweeting a picture of you being as tall as you were next to Cooper Perkins, I know this has been asked a million times. How tall are you?
You should see me beside Brad Challoner. I am just over 6 feet and 5 inches, Michael.
Okay, that's not like.
It's
Okay,
not-
cool.
It's a little above average, let's just say.
It's not a freak, but
No,
that's
how
cool.
tall are you, Mike Corvallis?
6'2", actually.
Okay, well there you go.
Producer Joe is 5'9".
Duly
love.
noted. Duly
I
noted.
love that. All right, so I do want to say great call in San Diego. And that's the game I want to get to first because you were a little part of history. You and old Cooper Perkins. That was fun. And
It was
I
fun.
think you mentioned it was like the hockey kind of feel, which I love.
Yeah. Well, I see you're wearing your San Diego Seals shirt, Big Mike.
Yes,
so,
sir.
yeah. No, I think I equated it to a bit of a pitcher's duel, right? Where,
Yes.
sometimes you're going to see a bunch of home runs and a bunch of runs put up, and that's exciting to watch. But I was just as entertained watching two goaltenders and two great defenses kind of go back and forth. And I was like, it was like watching a pitcher that was just in the zone, striking out batter after batter. So, I don't mind a 14-12 game, and I certainly don't mind a 10-8 game. And if making a little history with a 6-5 job, sign me up. It was a great time down there in San Diego calling a game with Cooper.
Absolutely. I got to ask you, I think we asked you this before, but I'll ask it again just because you're now doing Vancouver, Las Vegas, and San Diego. Like I know Vancouver's the main one, but you dabble in a few of those Western Coast games.
Yeah, I get to do play-by-play in Vancouver, aside from the TSN linear games where my good buddy Teddy Jenner gets to slide into the chair for those ones. Excuse me. But then I get the opportunity to be a color analyst down in Las Vegas. But I'm actually going to be doing a couple of games on play-by-play in Las Vegas this season as well. Zach Greer will be alongside me for the next one here in a couple of weeks. And the San Diego one was just kind of a one-off, I think, for right now. Nick Ocello away for the holidays, maybe up in Alaska or something with family. Alaska's not that close to San Diego, so couldn't get back in time for face-off. So they brought old Jumbo down for a game down there in San Diego, which is super cool, and it just so happens that I got San Diego last weekend. I get San Diego, Vancouver this weekend. And then the following weekend, guess what? I get Las Vegas and San Diego. So lots of Seals over the next 3 weeks.
I did not, when I wore this shirt, I did not know all that part of it, but I don't like to be biased here, but I'll take it. Before we get into the Seals game, which I love, I want to talk to you first about the Vancouver Warriors as a whole.
Sure.
They are 2-1. I believe you had one of the home games against Rochester, I believe.
Yes, sir.
What have you seen from Vancouver? I think they look good. I've got a few players I want to talk about, but Vancouver as a whole, how they look for you?
Yeah, I think just the steady progression, right? Where we saw them kind of finish off last year, I think they've kind of picked up again this year. And, that Colorado game has got a sting here a bit, Mike. Like they could easily, I feel like, be 3-0 right now. And Colorado looks like they've regained their form here a little bit, which makes that loss a little more disappointing, right? Being up that big at halftime and letting that one slip away. But I think they responded really well against Rochester in a bit of a defensive battle there. And then the offense kind of came to life a little bit in Calgary. But for me, the young guys on offense are still getting integrated and learning Kurt's system a little bit, which doesn't happen overnight. He's got a very intricate offensive system, and it takes time to kind of learn where to be and when to be there and how to be there. So I think those guys like Peshko and Cormier are figuring that out, and it's only going to get better. The defense, I put up against anybody in the National Lacrosse League, with the Buffaloes and whoever. I think that defensive core in Vancouver is maybe the best in the league. And then you look at the goaltending in Aidan Walsh, and it looks like he has taken a serious step forward in his game. He is now making saves that he wasn't making early on in his career. And when that defense dictates where those shots are coming from, they're saves that most NLL goaltenders should make. And now Aidan is making those saves, and he's making probably 3 or 4 a game that he probably doesn't have any business making. Exactly. And that's why you're starting to see results. So if all those things keep trending in that direction, I like where Vancouver is headed.
I love that you mentioned Aidan Walsh, because, listen, Del Bianco is the elephant in the room, or any other room in Calgary. But
I think you mean Delby on the Coucho. Delby on the Coucho.
That was a great shirt, by the way, whoever was wearing that. But I will say, Aidan Walsh, he's still a professional goaltender. It's like in the NFL, like these backups, like they're still professional players.
Yeah.
And Aidan Walsh, like you said, is starting to step it up and making that trade value a little bit, not for him, but like maybe Del Bianco's not as needed.
I know what you're saying. And he doesn't need to steal games. And there's no guarantee that if a deal with Del Bianco happens with Vancouver that he's going to be a part of it. I would expect him to be. And the better he plays, the better for Vancouver. It increases their value as far as what they need to return to Calgary to get Christian. So I think the longer he plays well, the more enticing it'll be for Calgary to maybe make a deal. And if it doesn't happen, I think Vancouver is just fine with what they got, and they feel like they can win games with him. So I think, again, the Warriors are in a pretty good spot in that situation.
Love it. I got to talk to you about Owen Grant, because, my gosh, this is stat line: 7 calls, turnovers, 8 blocks, but 4 goals and 2 assists. I know he had a hat trick in the one game, but if this dude becomes an offensive weapon at the same time, league on notice, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And I think Kurt Milosky's been on record that he thinks he's got the potential to be a defensive player of the year eventually in this league. And I can't dispute it, right? Like, this guy is a mammoth of a man. He is a monster. Mm-hmm. And the power, the strength, and then the finesse and the goal scoring touch that he's got. And there's another guy, right? If I'm the Calgary Roughnecks and I'm watching Owen Grant and the Warriors want Del Bianco, Grant's the guy on the top of the list for the return, right? That's the guy we're saying, we're not trading you 35 in Roughneck colors unless we're getting 16 in black and gold back the other way. So, that's a decision that Kurt and that management team are going to need to make as well. Do they want to give up a guy like Owen Grant to get, what is arguably a franchise cornerstone and probably the best goaltender on the planet for the next decade? Do they want to give that up to get that? And as you know, in order to make trades, you got to give up something to get something. So it's going to be a real interesting situation to watch. And I don't know. I feel like the longer it goes, the less chance it's going to happen this year.
I like that. I love, and just for the viewers to know, I'm not bringing Jake on to poke him about a Del Bianco trade, but because it is Vancouver, we had to touch on a little bit there.
I mean, this is a former MVP of the league sitting on the sidelines, and it's not good for anybody, right? It's not good for the league. It's not good for Calgary. It's not good for the fans. We need this guy back in the league one way or the other, and I just hope both sides can kind of come to some sort of agreement and make this happen, because the league is a better place when Del Bianco was in it.
Yeah, I mean, social media has shown that even off the field, it's like the guy's still amazing. He's just he's a face for me.
Funny guy.
Yes. Vancouver, San Diego, let's talk about it. It's this week. I guess Brad's on the call with you this week? Or?
Yeah, Brad and Chantel will be alongside. Looking forward to it.
What are you looking forward to in this game? I know you saw the Seals. You've seen the Vancouver Warriors once. What are we thinking about this game?
Yeah, I always feel like San Diego and Vancouver play good games against each other, regardless of whether it's in San Diego or Vancouver. Vancouver coming off a bye, so they're rested and ready to go. San Diego with that tight 6-5 victory, they get back into a playoff spot. They're feeling good, but the offense wasn't quite clicking. And now they got to turn around, come up north here to Vancouver. So I think it's going to be a real competitive game, a tight one. I really don't know which way this one is going to go, but I think it's an important game for both teams. If you think about it, Vancouver getting to 3-1 would be huge for them, and for San Diego, who's got championship aspirations here, to kind of start to get on a roll for them, I think would be massive as well. So I think we're in for a real good lacrosse game here on Friday night, one way or the other.
I completely agree. And even like the San Diego, I'm looking at, I was trying to pick them with Joe before the show, and it's like, it was either or is right, in my opinion, until it's not,
Yeah, it's a coin. To me, it's a coin flip game. I don't know if you got a Warrior shirt or not, Mike, but maybe you can get one that's like half and half or something like that.
Oh, don't tell me. If they sell those, I'm on it. Just let me know. I got to ask you as well, as a fellow media member, I don't want to call myself that, but
why not? You're the only live lacrosse show Monday to Friday on the planet. That's right.
So
of course you're media, Mike. You're well entrenched now, my man.
Well, I was going to ask you, because you do a Lacrosse Matrix podcast, and it's on your little tiny bio right there.
That's Adam Levy. He's the Lacrosse Matrix. I'm Lacrosse Classified.
It was right there in front of me. I still said it wrong.
It's okay.
Here, it's bigger now.
There you go. Thanks, Joe.
So, Lacrosse Classified, a few weeks ago, I've heard like what Brett Fruit said about this, but you were on the podcast where Jamie Dowick goes scorched earth on his part of the CBA coming up deals. How did you feel, and what was your takeaway from that?
Well, I mean, I've known Jamie for a long time, and I consider him, a good friend, right? So it's sometimes when I'm talking to Jamie, I'm not talking to the owner of the Toronto Rock, and if one thing I've learned about JD is that he doesn't give up. You know what? Like, he is just going to say what's on his mind, and whether you like it or don't, he doesn't care. Like, he is just going to say what he wants to say, and he's always been like that. And I think that's why people tune in, especially when he's on the program. And I like to hope that's a little bit of posturing on his end, right? We know how negotiations can go, right? Each side is going to push for something, and there's going to be some posturing in there. So I'm hoping there's a little bit of that, and I hope that both sides can really kind of realize the landscape that we're looking at here and do what's best for the sport, what's best for the league, what's best for the owners, what's best for the players, and find some common ground here and get a deal done before the end of the season. So, this isn't looming over everybody heading into the offseason, wondering whether the season is going to start on time next year.
I love that response, and again, I would have been like, "Oh, thank you for saying that." But like you say, it's buddies chopping it up.
Yeah.
Of course, he knew it was going to get clicks. I don't think he was unaware of that part either. So,
no, but I will say this, I kind of keep tabs on the episodes, and that episode in particular, far and away above the most listened episode of Lacrosse Classified ever.
Well, that makes you feel good then. Good stuff.
Well, sure. Yeah, it makes me want to have Jamie on every single week.
And then of course I was listening just to piggyback off that. Brett Fruit on OTCB was saying World War III is like, in other countries. I'm like, okay, that was a good response. I like that response.
Yeah. By the way, speaking of Lacrosse Classified here, Mike, how's it going with the Who You Got picks? I saw you were kind of lingering around up top for a little bit, and then your name kind of disappeared.
Yeah, that was fun. I had a bad week. There was one week, like I think 2 weeks ago, where I was on a heater, and you know how that goes. That's why betting is never fun.
No.
I was going to ask you who you got this week.
Long way to go here.
I'm excited.
You know what? This week, 7 games on the slate here for week number 7. It's a massive week, and I think whoever wins or does well here in Who You Got for week 7 is going to put themselves in a pretty good spot. I like a lot of home teams this week, Mike. I'm not going to lie to you. You go down the list, and home teams look pretty enticing to me. I don't know if all 7 are going to get it done, but that's kind of the way I'm leaning this week.
I always do. Whenever I see that I've done that, it kind of pisses me off.
Well, because it's just not going to happen, right? Like so it never happens that way. So I don't know.
Albany, Colorado. I have Albany, thank God, but that's the only one. I'm the same way. It's ridiculous.
Okay. All right.
But thank you, by the way, for once again coming on. You are awesome. By the way, your energy's great. Broadcast, podcast, etc. Anything to plug or shout out before you leave?
Yeah, well, the fresh episode will be dropping today. In fact, every Wednesday, noon Pacific, Lacrosse Classified, wherever you find your podcast, you can do that and, join in the fun. Join up who you got. You can still win weekly prizes. You're probably in tough to try and win the grand prize, the hickory stick from Mohawk Lacrosse. You're probably not going to do that at this point, but you can still win weekly prizes. So join up to who you got. All the information is on our bios, on our social media and what have you. And, look forward to Friday night here in Vancouver for San Diego and the Warriors, and then back down to Vegas the following week for Seals and Desert Dogs. Looking forward to that as well. So I appreciate you having me on, and sorry I couldn't join you a couple of weeks ago on Christmas Day there, man.
Yeah, like you celebrate. Don't do that. Okay.
I'm not a huge Christmas guy, but I like opening presents.
Good stuff. Thank you, Jake. If you're going to miss Jake, like he said, you're going to find him in the next few weeks anyways. Thank you so much, man.
All right, man. Thanks, Joe. Thanks, Mike. And anytime, guys. I'm happy to jump on.
Jake Elliott, PXP, the number 4 sports on social media. Search Lacrosse Classified. I don't know why the Matrix. It was right in front of me, man. What is wrong with me? Shame on me. All right, when we come back, power rankings. Oh, boy. It's time to ruffle some feathers. All right, we'll be right back.
Don't go anywhere. Daily Dive will be right back.
Need tickets to that next event? Well, at 12 Ounce Sports, we've got them with soccer anywhere in the world. Tickets to any venue, any sport. Want to go to NCAA or NFL football matches? We've got them.
Yeah.
Baseball at every level. Every Power 5 matchup is available. Don't forget, costumes and paint are optional. What's that? You want to go to Broadway? We have those too. Want to jam out? Every concert, every artist. That's right, at 12 Ounce Sports, we've got the tickets for less. 12ozsports.com/tickets. That's 12ouncesports.com/tickets.
Welcome to MyBookie. You're ready to create an account and start making money. And we're here to help. And remember, you can get a bonus of up to $1,000 on your first deposit. Now you're ready to bet. Just go to mybookie.ag, visit the sportsbook, click on your bet, and input the amount you want to risk or win in the bet slip. Yes, it's that easy. Just remember, at MyBookie, you play, you win, you get paid.
America, get back on track with Dust Pod's Performance Stabilizer. When applied to roadways, it kills dust and strengthens the integrity of the road. Easily applied by mixing with water, Dust Pods is the future in polymer stabilization. Call 1-833-DUST-PODS or visit dustpods.com today.
What up, everybody? It's producer Joe, the baddest daddy in producing history, here to tell you all about the baddest, daddiest merch store. Go to the link tree in the bios of either our IG or Twitter, and from there you can access merch for the only Monday through Friday live lacrosse talk show on the internet. I repeat, the only Monday through Friday live lacrosse talk show on the internet. We got hoodies for when your girl comes over and wants to cuddle. Just don't let her take it when she leaves. How about a baddest daddy cap for when you lie about how much you hate Mike in this show, but you're still here? We've got beanies so you can do that in the cold too. Guys, what's going to happen when all these moms see you dropping your kid off at practice in this thing? Want to sip like a daddy and feel like a baddie? Check out that mug. 6-time NLL champ Johnny T and savior of my Buffalo sports childhood knows what I'm talking about. Guys, I'm really going to need you to start buying shit because I'm getting sick of doing Instacart. But yeah, go check it out so you can start repping and supporting the brand. Producer Daddy out.
Daily Dive is back in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Go to Spotify and search Daily Dive for the audio-only podcast version of this show. Also, I would like to apologize to our Instagram viewers. I did not post the story showing the link to our video, and we still have 75 plus people watching. Thank you for tuning in, but I'm sorry if you're joining late. The show, you can watch it in entirety, but I'm just letting you know. Also, when today's awesome show ends and you're getting your tickets for the next game, go to tickets.12onsports.com, tickets.numbers12, letters ozsports.com. You will not regret seeing things live, knowing you're like, dang, my wallet, I can buy like hot dogs now because I got my tickets for a great price. I was off top. Alrighty, power rankings. Reminder, for those of you that are new to the show, if you want Producer Joe's power rankings, you got to ask him. No one's asking him. He ain't giving them to you. Boom. Week 6 for your boy. Bandits remain unscathed. 3-0. Only 3 games. I get it, but you know. The Rush moved up because the Swarm got smacked around. But I couldn't move the Swarm down further because the Seals got swept by the Swarm, so that makes no sense. Wings stay put. They didn't have a game. The Mammoth move up. The Black Bears move down, but not a lot. Vancouver has passed Albany, and Albany is now the 9th place team, missing my hypothetical playoffs if the season ended today, which technically they would be way out of the playoffs anyways in the standings. The point is, Albany, I'm starting to sour on you. Rochester jumps up 2 spots to number 10. I think the 2 Buffalo games are kind of hurting our vision right now, the Rochester Nighthawks. The Rock fall down again. Roughnecks the same. Desert Dogs get 1 spot. Halifax, let's just pray that you can come back again. But I felt like Las Vegas beating Albany was better than Halifax having to come back against Albany because when you're doing these things, you know, the little things matter. All right. We really, 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 really thank you for always coming on the show and always being a part of it. Thank you for watching. Reminder that you are the bread. You are the butter. You are the chicken wing to my chicken dinner. By the way, follow us on the social medias down below. If you're on Spotify, I'm not going to read them out because that's just horrible podcasting. But you, Michael Carvelis, LJ Lacrosse 49 for our social media guy, Bigo. And of course, Producer Joe, search Baddest Production Father, or what is it, Daddy underscore produces. We need to uniformity on that one, by the way. Regardless, thank you to all of our guests who come on, like those prior, those like Jake Elliott's, those to come. Like tomorrow we have Steven Stamp. That's going to be fun. Thank you, all of you, for sharing your audience with us, giving us validity and relevance. For Bigo with 2 eyes, always dialing it up on social media, and for the baddest daddy in producing history that I've ever seen, at least Producer Joe, I'm Mike. So you have a great rest of your day. We'll see you tomorrow, same time, same place, 12 on Sports, wherever you watch or listen. This has been Daily Dive. Why don't you shut up? My bad.
Thanks for watching Daily Dive. See you next time.